Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the 16th episode of the Trainers Lounge, the show where we talk about anything and everything about L&D. All right, well, for this afternoon, we're going to get a little techie because we're going to talk about learning technologies and also to check your competency in using them, right? Because it's difficult to use something if you're not familiar with it or if you don't have the skills yet. But if you do manage to get the proper skills and competency for it, then learning technology is a sure way for you to streamline your training and development workshops. Well, without further ado, let's get into today's episode. But first, I would like to thank everyone here or everyone who are watching right now and supporting us. Thank you so much. We've already have some comments here. Marie Beroya, thank you so much for watching. Ayan. So guys, thank you so much again. And don't forget to like and also to share our videos. If you missed out on all of our previous episodes, don't worry. You can still watch them on our Facebook page. That's CLDP Philippines. And also on our YouTube page, Circle Logical Group. And Henry, thank you so much, Henry, again. Hello as well. Well, our guest for today is actually a big supporter of our program, and he's already guest. He's already been a guest here a few episodes before, and we actually found another topic that we would like to share with you guys. But I would like to introduce him first. He is the current location talent development head from Tata Consultancy Services. He is accredited by the Certified Learning and Development Professional Certification Program and Certified Practitioner in Human Resources. Also, a Green Belt Six Sigma and a Toastmasters member. His total work experience in the talent development industry has spanned for 19 years. Wow. And he is a specialist in BPO and IT competency building. He is passionate about learning, and presently he is pursuing MBA, and he likes to spend time with his puppy, and I've seen him actually, the puppy, Bucky, and talking to his nephews. He's always ready to drink coffee, believe that karma is the biggest teacher and application in learning. Without further ado, Mr. Abhiishek Chatterji. All right. Hello. Hmm. I think we're experiencing some technical difficulties on Mr. Abby's side. Well, let me just check that for a quick second. In the meantime, if you have any questions regarding our topic or would like to share anything, don't forget to type that in our comment section and we'll get to it during the show. All right. One, two, three. Okay. Mr. Abby, can you hear me?
Sorry, there was a technical challenge, and
I see. All right.
suddenly the computer booted.
So I was
Oh,
out of the site before I knew it.
I see. All right. Well, it is kind of raining today. I don't know in your location. Is it raining in your location right now?
It's raining. It's raining. It's raining really
there,
bad here, Kevin.
there you
And
go.
I think the network, yeah, maybe a little sluggish because of that.
Yeah,
How
we
are
were
you,
actually
Kevin?
praying
How are you
for.
doing?
Well, I'm doing good. And similar to you, it's a bit rainy here. We were actually praying for it not to affect us today, but uh, there's nothing we can do. Hopefully, we can,
There's nothing we can do.
talk. Yeah, well, nothing we can do, but hopefully, we can get through our topic today and share some insights on learning technologies. Well, let's
Sure.
get to it. First off, we're going to talk about competency in using learning technologies, right? But first, let's
Mhm.
identify or let's try to set the stage of what is competency.
Well, Kevin, we always talk about a person being skilled,
Mm-hmm.
and we always talk about a person getting the right knowledge. So
I see.
anyone, we always say, everyone who's even watching this right now, because they are from the fraternity of learning and development or from HR, we always talk about this: the person is knowledgeable or the person is skilled, but that does not make a person competent. So the competency is not just knowing it, but
Mm-hmm.
knowing it, understanding how to utilize it, and then while you're doing both of them, you also ensure, see from HR perspective, you also ensure that your behavior, your attributes are taken care of as well. So competency in a nutshell is a combination of your skills, your knowledge, as well as your attributes. So the behavioral attributes also matter. So when somebody says that this person or this leader or this team member is very competent, so that competent word should only come through when you have actually verified them at these three levels. And these three levels are their knowledge about the work that they are
Knowledge.
doing.
All right.
Are they good with the subject matter?
Mm-hmm.
Their skill. Now, Kevin, you and I can be good with multiple things that we know about, right?
Mm-hmm.
Knowing it is just half the battle. The rest of the battle is really into doing it, implementing it, and then maintaining your sanity. Very, very important. So, competent person will have a combination of skill, knowledge, and the right behavioral attributes.
Okay, so it's more of a holistic approach on the things that we do or the things that we have right now. I think,
Yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
I think it's also a common misconception that when a person is skilled in a certain aspect, like communication, right,
Hmm.
that automatically translates into competency. Will that be
Hmm.
true, or is that a myth?
It's a myth. It's purely a
Mm,
myth.
it's
I
purely a
could
myth.
know. So Kevin, we could have studied in a very good school
Mm-hmm.
and could have learnt English really well. Now, whosoever said that this skill can lead to a person being competent was not completely wrong, but I would say only 20% right. Because once this child or this person comes out of the school, now they
Mm-hmm.
learn the skill of how to utilize that language. Nobody in the school has ever taught us how would you talk, how would you behave, what is your body language in the meetings. So when you come to the office, you learn the skill. When you write your emails, now these emails are very different than email writing or mail writing that we would have done in school. Now I'm really old school, so I got schooled way back when we used to do letter writing. So I'm sure nobody does that now, and kids who are listening to me right now will be like, "What? What is that?"
But
So
we
yeah,
did
now
that.
I think it's
We've been
now
there.
it's I think it's mail writing, and I'm sure the mails and the emails that they learn how to write in the school is way different than the skill of writing an official email that they
Mhm.
actually learn on the job. So the skill can be built over the time as well. But remember, knowledge and skill go hand in hand. Those who don't realize this and they think that, I only got the skill, not getting the knowledge is not really understanding how to utilize that skill well. A. B. Not understanding how to utilize that skill well will not give you the effectiveness that you expect from that knowledge.
Okay, there you go. So you
It's as
actually,
good as saying,
sorry,
sorry,
go
go
on,
ahead.
go ahead.
I was just saying, no, I was just saying you can fly many flight simulators, right? You can use a
Oh,
lot
yeah,
of
yeah.
flight simulators and fly, and you could play the game. Let's talk about the game. People who play the game of flight simulation are not really pilots, right? So
Yeah.
nobody says that, hey, how many times have you played that flight simulation game? And somebody says, boss,
Hmm.
I've completed 106 hours. Wow, you should become a pilot. Go take the next commercial flight. You know, Nobody says that, right? Why?
Yeah.
Because the knowledge is limited, the skill is also on the ground limited. It's only simulation that they have worked on, right?
It's not actual or it's not
It's not
practice.
actual practice, right? The flying hours. And that is why pilots also have to practice on the simulation. Yes,
Hmm.
the pilots do practice on simulation. The even the jet fighter pilots also practice on simulation, but that does not mean that that's the only practice they ever get. They have to
Hmm.
go out, they have flying hours, they have to complete those number of hours. They have the instructor sit with them and observe them and give them feedback. So there's a lot of steps that are involved in becoming a pilot. So there is always a combination of knowledge, skill, and attributes. And Kevin, talking about pilots, I'm sure you know where the attribute comes into place. The attributes that they add into is that the pilot needs to be fit. They need to be healthy at all times because they are the responsible pilots, right? They're responsible for 400, 500 people. That's commercial flights. If you go for cargo flights, they are responsible for millions and billions worth of goods which are in the
Yeah,
flight, right?
depends on what they're carrying. Yeah, right.
Correct, correct. And honestly, talking about commercial flights, people lives are priceless. I mean, that's completely priceless. It does not even
I
have
agree.
billions, trillions. It's priceless. So there is always a combination. Hospitality industry. Let me not go hospitality. We're talking about we're within this era where we have witnessed pandemic. Let me talk about the healthcare industry. Knowledge, skills, and attribute. Do you like a doctor who yells at you? Do you
Yeah,
like a doctor? And there are
that's
doctors, there are pediatricians who actually give candies to their kids, the
yeah,
children who
yeah.
come to the pediatricians, right?
So,
So why is that? It's because it's part of that entire holistic development of a personality.
mm,
A professional cannot be a professional by just saying, I know how to do it and I know how to get it done. Well,
mhm.
do you really know how to do it? And do you really know how to keep doing it? That's very important.
I see. Oh, well, I totally agree with that. Because practice, well, knowledge without practice basically just means that it's superficial. Like, yeah, you know it, but can you do it properly? And can your body or can the things that will affect that practice is also in good shape? Like you said, health factors of pilots as well is taken into consideration for their competency, right? Like, yes, they know how to fly an airplane well. They can do it, right? They know all the things behind it, but
True.
physically, can he do it on a consistent level? I think that's where you're trying to come from, right? Earlier. So
Absolutely.
yeah, I think it is important also to have a holistic approach to it, and not just about what you know, what you can do, but other
True.
factors as well that will affect you to it. All right. Well, now that's out of the way. Let's now go to digital competency. All right. What do we mean by digital competency?
Well, it's very simple.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever somebody talks about, give me 1 minute, sorry.
No worries.
There was a call that was coming. I had to cancel it. So, whenever somebody is talking about anything today, anything,
Mm-hmm.
be it about, hey, I ordered groceries. Hey, I ordered food. Hey, I bought new clothes. They're always talking about buying it online. Mostly. I would
Mm-hmm.
say last year, 100% of the people. This year, I would say at least till 60% of the people are buying online. A lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now, digital competency is very simple. You learn about not how to buy it online, but how to enable it online. That is digital competency. So that means you learn the backend and the developer options of digital platforms. So digital can be anything. It could be an app, it could be a platform, it could be what we are using right now, this platform.
Mm-hmm.
Facebook, digital platform. Digital marketing is huge. So the competency is basically, do you understand the digital technology? It could be anything in the digital technology. It is a wide variety. of digital technologies to select from. And we're actually getting deeper. I mean, if you ask me, this is a rabbit hole for sure. But I don't want to really quote that because the rabbit hole is really not for good things. So digital is a good thing. It's actually a good thing. If I really want to say it metaphorically, I would then definitely say that it's an oasis which we keep finding. It's an oasis which we keep finding in the desert. And you will see whenever humanity got stuck, digital came to help. Like in the COVID era, we had a lot of digital which came to help. So many jobs were created because of digital. So
Mm-hmm.
being competent to understand what is that technology, how I can use it, and does it really talk to me? I mean, am I interested to learn more about it? Am I interested to work more towards it? And does it really create engagement for me? Is very important. Because remember, again, um, the, the thing is that, again, learning and skills, knowledge, and competency, they go hand in hand. So with digital competency, the same thing. Understanding the digital technology and then learning the digital technology and then actually practicing digital technology. But in digital, it's very important you connect with it. It's very, actually, for every field, my personal view is that you connect with it. If I don't connect with it, I don't get into it.
I see. All right. Well, so it basically translates into how well a person uses a certain digital technology, may it be a platform, a site, an application, and use it to its utmost potential, and also apply it on their end as well. Right. Well, we were trying to. Well, we're trying to elaborate more on this because we are now going to talk about learning technologies in training and development. And what would be also the difference between this competency or a competency and a course before moving forward to learning technologies?
There is actually no particular prerequisite, Kevin. That's the beauty
Hmm.
of digital now. Now, people always get challenged and think that, what should I learn?
Okay, I
When
think
I always want to take people back to the point of why should I learn? That
why
is
should
very
I learn?
important.
Hmm.
Why should I learn? So I am trying to learn because I want to achieve a goal. I want to create an app, or I want to understand what is DevOps. I want to understand what is SAP, or I want to understand what is AWS, Azure, what is this noise about Google Cloud, you know. I want to understand what is the Python. Is it the real Python? Is it the Jungle Book Python? Why is everybody learning about Python? I mean, it's no big deal. Just go to YouTube and you can learn about it. Why is everybody talking about AI? Is Tesla
Oh.
for real? You know, so the why is very important. Now imagine this. Okay, no, actually, I'm going to come back to this point later. I'm going to go into something else now because you asked me about what is the prerequisite. So I'm going to go back and say that if you understand the why, then your how and where are so simple now, Kevin. There are
Hmm.
so many learning platforms. There are learning platforms which are giving free trainings, free courses. Azure, Microsoft, AWS, they are all launching these heavy discount vouchers. Every month they have some or the other discount vouchers. So if somebody wants to
Hmm.
learn something, they can definitely go in and learn today. They just need to have the why and the will. If you understand the why you want to learn and the will with which you want to learn, digital is for everyone. And there is no prerequisite. So the only prerequisite is that if I have never learned digital, I am, I'm middle aged now and I'm in the middle of my career. And I think, I want to pick up on digital. Everybody's saying digital. I want to see what it is. Let me just try and check. Now, here is the challenge that you
Hmm.
will have to start from the foundation level. So it does not say that, okay, if you have 10 years of experience, 19 years of experience, you can just go ahead and you can start on, with level 5 or level 4 or level 3 or level 2. No, you have to start from foundation, from the beginning, if you have not learned it before. That is the only thing with digital. Because you will not understand the level 1 if you don't know the level 0. If you don't know the level 0 and level 1, you would not be able to transition to level 2.
I see. I think I would also like to add in this one, in terms of digital competency, right? Your exposure to it is a factor as well, right?
That's true.
There is a stereotype that older people have difficulty learning, or creating, or basically training their digital competency because they weren't exposed to it. They were able to live
Yep,
a good part of their life without being exposed to the technology that we have today. As to a kid or a child that was born in the last decade, let's say, and was already exposed to some form of technology. It might have been the first thing that the kids saw when the parents are
true.
taking photos using their cameras and whatnots, and then later on using it as a way for them to educate the kids using videos. But anyways, uh, to going to my point, it is a bit difficult if you don't expose yourself to it, right?
That's true.
Uh, I've
That's true.
seen I've seen older people using it. I not just using it on a surface level, but knowing what to do with it because they decided to understand it. They decided to expose themselves. They equipped themselves with the proper tools. They understood the correct terminologies, the correct softwares to do it, how to do it, and why they use it, things like that. So I guess it's also a matter of you deciding whether you want to be a surface level user or a surface level s- competent. Yeah, there you go. Surface level competent, or you want to really be well versed with it. I think that is a big factor for it.
That is very true, Kevin, because I know that for at least 50 years, my mom had not used digital
Wow.
technology. In fact, I'm going to increase it by 15 years. So at least for 65 years, she had not used technology, the digital technology. The fact that when I moved,
Mm-hmm.
out of India, and I was always at home. I was the bunsuk, right? So I was always at home, and I would always help Nanai. Nanai, you can go through this, go through that. When I was out of the house, my mom was like, "Oh my God, I need to learn digital now. I need to learn apps." So she did not learn the technology as a learner, but she
Mm-hmm.
definitely became a user. So
There you go.
adapt yourself. I think I like your point that you said actually. Adapt yourself, start using it, acclimatize yourself. The
Mm-hmm.
more you acclimatize, the easier it gets to adapt as well and to move to digital.
All right, there you go. Now we've been talking about the competency side. Now, what are now the tools that is needed, basically? And I think I'll go ahead and mention one, like the Microsoft tools that we have. That is usually used by a great margin of the population. So, can we consider Microsoft tools digital learning too? Like if you use them, or is it something that's not really expected to be a digital learning skill?
So the difference between the user,
Mhm,
or the difference between the one who actually utilizes the services, the end user, and
mhm,
the one who creates the services is very simple. The one who's using it, they are technically competent. So they are using the technology.
mhm.
The one who's creating it, they are digitally competent because they are digitizing a non digitized platform. So they are actually creating the tech. So hence digital competence. Now, what happens if you learn Microsoft tools? You very
Hmm.
rightly said, I don't think there is anybody who does not use the Office. So the Office is widely utilized, and Office is the backbone now for so many organizations
Yeah.
because data analytics, presentations, key documentation, so the Word, uh, Office Word that is used. Now, all of this have actually created and utilized them as byproducts of the technology. So they're still not really getting into the tech. What happens when you use Excel to do analysis and you build insights from Excel is when you are really using the technology. When there are
Okay.
pivot charts, when there are insight charts, there are 3D charts, there are all of these connected files that you create, is when you are really technically competent and you're using the technology. So that really matters. Like a lot of people would, I would say, be the users of PowerPoint, but not technically competent. Because a lot of people who use PowerPoint, they just use it to showcase, to show the picture, to just show some text, and it's all over the place. They're not really aware of a lot of functionalities that
Yeah.
that are there, like morphing, like something as simple as linking, right? So a lot of these people are not, I would say, technically competent, but they're using it. They're the end users, is how I would place it.
There you go. I see. Well, yeah, I think it goes back again to what we said earlier that in order to be competent, it's not just enough to know it and how to do it, but rather apply it well,
True.
and all of its glory, as they say. Well, well now, well, I think it's not just Microsoft tools, but Microsoft is basically the most common thing or the most common tool that we have digitally. But yeah, now moving forward to our industry, talent development, are there any specific digital learning competencies, for us, for talent development professionals?
I'm thinking about it that do we have the time to enlist all of
Well, maybe let's just go to the most important ones.
them? So, okay, there are so many of them, Kevin. I think that's a
Mhm.
great question because a lot of our fraternity has joined in today and they would definitely like to know, right, that what can help them. So, let me
Mhm.
begin with the basic. The basic. Have you used Zoom? Basic,
Yes.
right? Really basic. Virtual learning, the basic digital platforms. Understanding our digital platforms is critical now. Why? Because we've actually seen the pinnacle of the challenges that could come. I would say so. For now, at least, it's the pinnacle. I don't
Hmm.
know. It may get worse. God forbid it doesn't. Knock on the wood. So
Yes,
we
let's
have
hope.
actually seen the top, the peak of the challenges that we could get into, and we have sustained because of digital technology and using digital platforms.
Hmm.
These virtual platforms, learning platforms, are so many of them right now. You have something as basic as a canvas, which creates the curriculum, stores the curriculum for schools. A lot of schools and colleges have used it to something as deep as it get into Google Classroom that got very deep gradually. Tata, with the company that I represent, Tata Consultancy Services,
Hello, Mr.
there
Abby.
is a lot of investment that is going on. Hi, can you still hear me?
Hello. Yeah, I think I lost you for a second there. Okay, well, it's good now. Sorry for that.
Okay, okay. So, a lot of investment is being made into digital for talent development, for training, for education
Hmm.
purposes. For something for individual learners, so talent development people who want to learn, I would say pick it up today. Just go and start learning things. For example, you want to know about A, what are the sites that you can learn from? So your people, you can empower them and tell them, hey, you can go to Edureka, you can go to, you can go to LinkedIn Learning, you can go to Udemy. There are so many sites, first of all, to learn from. There is so much that you can do there. B, you can learn analytics. Data analytics is such an
Analytics.
important part of learning, of talent
Hmm.
development. You want to know the skills that your people want, people should learn. You want to know the aspirations of your people. You should learn Google Forms, Google Survey. That's also a digital platform where you can do surveys. You can roll out surveys for free. If you use Google Forms, there are surveys for free. You get polls that you can build in, and you can use that to know about the aspiration of your readers. You can also, from as a trainer, you can also learn about what do they think about your training. So people who came to your training, you want to do a quick survey, you launch it there. Not just that, Kevin, now trainers are also utilizing Mentimeter. Mentimeter is very, very popular now.
I
So
think that's a new thing
Mentimeter,
for me.
okay, so Mentimeter is where people get to learn about, they can do quick quiz, quick surveys, quick polls, quick thoughts. So you can do a thought cloud there, a word cloud there, and the
Oh.
trainers love that because during the session you want to do a knowledge check. So you ask people to type in the one word that they remember from the session, and you get to see if there's variety of words, and you see the word cloud and you feel happy.
Mhm.
The next thing that you can do on Mentimeter is once the session is done, you can release a survey. You can ask people to respond to the survey so you know what part did they like, what is that they want improvement on, and what is that you could continue to serve, as is. So it's very, very pivotal to know these tools. There are a lot of content creation tools that are out there. We will have to explore. So again, I would request the talent development folks to please, please empower themselves with there's a lot that is happening. Combine your forces with your HR strategic people because there is artificial intelligence, there is cloud. Cloud is so powerful for talent development to know because it can host a lot of content for you. You're always running out of space, right? You always want more space. So I use OneDrive. For me, OneDrive works out very well. The space is compressed. A. B. I can use it on iOS. I can use it on Android. I can use it on Windows. So multiple platforms I can use it. It's and it's the same ID, same login, same files. I have never had a challenge in accessing them on any of these three platforms.
Yeah, I
I
think
don't use Huawei.
I think gone are the days when we used to save our files on flash drives or
Yeah,
external HDDs. Then you have to be very careful in carrying them because even the slightest knock can destroy
true,
your whole file or your whole bank of files. So yeah, when I also got the chance to learn about it, okay, this is much more better. At least I don't have to think about carrying it with me or forgetting about it when
yeah,
I need to go to another office or another space. But yeah.
true, true. See, a lot of the developers, I mean, sorry, a lot of the content developers for
Mhm.
training and talent development, they work on MacBook, they work on Mac computers because they find it safe and they like to use iCloud. I personally only have used an iPad Pro so far. I have never used a MacBook. I don't really think that iCloud will help me access it everywhere. So that's why I use OneDrive, because with OneDrive I can access it on any device. So you see different platforms, different OS, different
Mhm.
operating systems, and I can access my files as and when I want it. And I'll just give you a small example. Now we have our access like Toastmasters. So I'm part of Toastmasters. Now I create the file in the iPad OneDrive. I can access it from my phone. I have a backup there. I can utilize it. And if there's any challenges with the network, with the connectivity, I can
Mhm.
easily shift to the phone. So
Uh,
from my laptop, I can easily shift to my phone. So That's how it becomes easier. And that is where I ask talent development, my trainers, my fellow friends, my colleagues, to become more aware. The more you become aware, as we discussed earlier, Kevin and I were talking about, that getting aware is just the first step of embracing it and getting acclimatized.
Yeah.
And the more you acclimatize yourself, the more you will see the advantages. And for all you know, you might just create an app, you might just create a platform. Who knows? There's app development for kids.
Yeah, I've seen those, and it's a bit foreign for me, but I understand the concept.
Yeah.
But yeah, going back to the competencies that talent development professionals should have, I think it's also important for them to understand uh, when to use it and why they need to use it, right? With
Absolutely.
because sometimes technology can be fickle. I mean,
Yep.
sometimes it can be done simply by doing it instead of transferring it into something technological, which would waste
Yep.
time transferring it, right? So we also have to be careful of what are the things that we do in our industry that requires technological help, requires a digital competency, or something that can be easily done the old-fashioned way. I,
True.
I still believe in the saying, if it's not broken, then why fix it? But yeah, I think it's
That's
also
true.
I think it's also important for talent development professionals to understand where to draw the line, right? We
Yep.
cannot we cannot rely too
We
much on technology as well.
that's true. We have the whiteboard, which is there in all of these platforms now, as you know.
Hmm.
You can always pull a whiteboard and you can start a classroom discussion, a virtual classroom discussion. So whiteboard is basically just replicating the real life whiteboard that you have in classrooms. You replicate that into a virtual ambience and
Space,
the
yeah.
platform, a virtual space, and then there you go ahead and start typing in, and everybody can see the words together. They can even contribute. There are some trainers, Kevin,
Hmm.
who still like to put a whiteboard and then show it on the camera like a real whiteboard.
Ah,
So
yeah.
behind the trainers, so trainers have a wall, and on that wall they have put their whiteboard. So you will see some of the videos. It's actually there in YouTube. There are these videos where the
Yeah, yeah.
trainers still like to go back to their whiteboard, type it out. The the challenge is that they are not wary. They're not really looking into the selfie camera. I think that's the only challenge, because with the selfie camera you get to see yourself, you get a little more conscious about how you're presenting, you get to interact with people. They are interacting with the back camera, because with the selfie camera, you know what will happen, right? The letters will be reversed. It's a selfie.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
So with that front camera, when I say selfie camera, I mean the front camera. So with the front camera, the letters that you write on the whiteboard will be reversed. So they have to use the back camera. Now with the back camera, you cannot see your audience. You cannot see the reaction of your audience. So it is very good for recording. So there is one of the trainers, now I'm not able to recall his name, but there is one, not trainer, but I think he's a professor. And she's a professor. I remember her now. So now what she has done, so her setup is of two devices. See, you have to take effort, right? Two devices, one device which shows her whiteboard whenever she uses that, and the other device that is, I think she's using a laptop where she can see her audience. So the front camera of that device where she can see the audience, that is of the laptop, is off, while the back camera of her phone that she has put on a tripod is
Mhm.
on. So she's interacting with the audience and she can see the audience. So two devices for two different perspectives, and
I see.
literally two different vantage points or perspectives.
I see. All right. It sounds a bit tedious, but whatever
Yeah,
works, right?
yeah, yeah.
Now
Worth the
we've
effort.
mentioned. Sorry.
I'm just saying worth the effort because see, it helps give the feel of a real life classroom.
Ah,
So
yeah.
how you can digitally maximize the digital tools is what I wanted to use this example for. So this
Yeah.
this professor is actually putting an effort to maximize the digital tools, not
Hmm.
running away from them, and bringing in a fusion of the live classroom with that live whiteboard, giving example of writing with the marker, so still keeping that essence alive, the essence of a live classroom.
Okay. Yeah, because if you're not competent, you'll not be able to think of setting that up, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Well, now we've talked. Well, basically, you listed down the digital competencies that are needed or are often used in talent development. What are the ones that are in demand? Let's put it that way. Let's say the top three, the must-haves of that a talent development professional should have or should possess.
For sure, data analytics.
Data
I will
analytics.
definitely put that on top. Data
Okay.
analytics, because data is always the king. There is
Yeah.
nothing else that rules, because it's very simple, Kevin. If I want to show the effectiveness of the trainings or the programs that we have done, how else can we show it without the data? A. B. If there is now a lot of us, let's face it, a lot of us are actually working as also ensuring that there is a mandated training requirement that is met, right? All of us also work on that. For that as well, for tracking purpose, you need data. The third aspect for which you need data is you need to check who is learning what courses are getting popular, what trainings are getting popular. So definitely it will help you analyze that and understand what are the courses that need updating, what courses are not being really enjoyed by people. People are not coming for a certain training, so what's happening? So you need data for all of this. So data analytics for sure. Learn the tools well. There are a lot of analytical tools. There's Power BI, there's Python, there is just pure data analytics for HR, people analytics
Hmm.
for HR. All of these courses are available on Udemy, LinkedIn Learning, and there are so many websites there. I mean, if I just go on talking about them, Khan Academy, Unacademy, so AIHR, just go on, search, and you know the universe to click. The
Oh,
second
yeah.
one that I would talk about is what people should really understand is how the technologies work. So, Internet of Things will be my second. Internet of Things is very important for anybody to learn, whether you're from HR, non-HR, anyone should learn, because internet is really ruling. How we are connected. How is the data getting collected? How is this data impacting us? What are the things we can do with internet? What are the things that we should not do with internet? So Internet of Things really, really helps. Also, I think for everybody who's here and who's interested,
See you
it's
tomorrow.
very good to understand
Bye.
how to use different virtual platforms. Very
Hmm.
important. There are a variety of platforms. Just the other day, somebody told me we'll be using it's for another chat, and we'll be using this platform, and I didn't get it. It was something like a rights platform, and I just didn't get it. And I was
Oh.
like, "What is this?" And then I got to know it is Ring. There is a platform called Ring Central or something like that. So there are so many virtual platforms out there. We don't even know half of them. Check what is the
Oh,
best for your audience. Microsoft Teams is actually ruling the roost now. Zoom
oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
is in a neck to neck competition, right? Zoom is more of individual people are using it, member based clubs are using it. That's how Zoom is being used mostly. I think offices which can afford are going for Microsoft license, because it is better, it is more secured.
Hmm.
Taking the integrity of the data is very, very important. So it's really, really important to learn these three aspects. You can also offer better knowledge to your people with that. It's really important. Today, Kevin, there are chatbots which are being created. So HR, talent development, all of them add their questions and queries to the chatbots. You go to any website, you have a chatbot. You don't have a person who's chatting with you, you have the chatbot. And the chatbot is also being used by Globe. If you know, their chatbot is Thea. Thea is their chatbot in Messenger, Facebook Messenger. So it's very important for HR to also learn how the chatbots and artificial intelligence are really working together. And it's
Mhm.
very simple. These are very, very simple foundation level knowledges which can really help any HR person get ahead of their game. The fourth thing that I would really, are we on the fourth? Actually, the fifth thing.
The-
The
okay.
fifth thing that is very important, Kevin, for any talent development person, any coach, any trainer, any HR person is digital marketing.
Ah.
You tell me how else is Circa Logica or how else is CLDP or CPHR reaching out to people? I have
Digital
never
marketing.
seen a banner of CLDP or CPHR Circa Logica. At least outside my house, I've never seen a billboard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Simply,
That's true.
simply just going through Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. I don't know what all channels would Circa Logica be using, but just using social media and digital marketing, you are able to, God bless, but you're able to create the business, right? And it's just one simple example that we're talking about Circalogica. Today, everybody, today, big business groups who used to go and spend millions on taking that advertisement slot, of 5 seconds, 3 seconds, or 10 seconds, or sometimes just like, just a 2 second advertisement with a banner coming on the television. And they used to pay millions for that. It would be very, very expensive because the reach was to millions. Now they go to YouTube. Now they spend money on YouTube. And the new thing that is happening is, Kevin, those companies have even stopped creating advertisements. Some of these companies, you try to remember, when did you see the last advertisement? iPhone. Do you remember the last advertisement you saw? Or do you remember the last review vlog that you saw?
Yeah. Yeah, things have
Right?
changed in the marketing scene. Like they've utilized a lot of personalities, I guess. We'll call them personalities. Also, way of delivering the market. It's sometimes uh, it's interactive, right? I've started seeing
Very
interactive.
interactive.
How do we define them? Are there advertisement stills, or are there games or whatnot? So yeah, they have
They're
changed their
gamified.
the
They're
gamify. Yeah,
gamified
let's put it that
interactive.
way.
Yeah.
Like you
Gamified
click on
interactive
this,
sessions.
you click
Correct.
on this, you get to know things about the product, or it has something
Yeah.
for you to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree with that. Digital
And
marketing is one of the
and
important
Kevin, not
ones.
to forget HR. HR is hiring through LinkedIn today, through JobStreet today,
Yeah.
through Circa Logica, you know. So there are so many avenues, digital avenues through which HR is hiring today. Today, you don't look for workforce in colleges because due to the pandemic, so many people could not even go to the colleges,
Yeah.
right? Students were learning from home. So you connect virtually through the platforms. You connect virtually through Messenger. Talent engagement. So, HR has this HR business partners, talent engagement team. They create engagement platforms. They
Hmm.
create engagement connects. Talent development. It can release banners, can do sessions, can give some fun activities can be done externally. So digital marketing, digital connect is really the in thing. Today, onboarding is being done on Facebook. Many
Yeah.
people are using YouTube videos to do onboarding and induction. So things have changed a lot, and I think digital marketing is something that every HR personnel should learn about. And please remember the first thing that we talked about: become competent. I know a lot of us feel, oh, I know YouTube, I know Facebook, I know digital marketing. It's a
I know how
different
to watch
world
a video.
altogether. Once you get, I know how to watch a video, but it's a different world altogether. There are different analytics. YouTube analytics is deep. Facebook
Yeah.
is, it's almost ruling in the marketing business. It is what I would say it kickstarted the digital marketing, literally. You know, so yeah, there's a lot that can happen that can help you, especially those who are hiring. The hiring teams, the recruiting teams, they should use digital marketing really well, and they should get. I feel they should get more competent digital marketing people, people who actually
Mhm.
understand and not just have the knowledge but have the skill to understand and work and apply digital marketing skills. Very, very important.
I think I also want to add, uh, before we go to our last question, I think I will also want to add one of the competencies that I've observed, based on my opinion, troubleshoot skills or troubleshooting skills.
Yes,
May
yes,
it
yes,
be may
yes.
it be software troubleshooting or even hardware
Yes. Hardware
troubleshooting. I think
troubleshooting.
it's also a competency that everyone needs to have today,
So
especially
true.
professionals, right? Because
Yeah,
sometimes
so true.
my, my microphone is not working. What's happening? Then it's unplugged, or it's not, or on the software side, it's not the a device that's chosen to function, right? So yeah, aside from those things, I think generally speaking, we need to start to develop ourselves into troubleshooting so that we
Very true.
can
Very true. Just
skip with.
understanding, just understanding how that network cable is plugged in and
Yeah.
what is that RJ45 cable, right?
Yeah.
Understanding that difference will also help. It's a
Yeah,
very simple
that's
thing.
it.
You mentioned a very good example about the microphone. A
Mhm.
lot of us get flustered now, right? And I must tell everyone, it happened with Kevin and me also right now.
Yeah.
But none of us, I think we have the Buddha face. So we are like the Buddha mask on, and we are showing all the patience of Buddha. Uh, but none of us really got flustered, probably because
Yeah.
I think because we share a similar mindset. So we were looking around what can be done, what is the settings button, how it can be changed,
Yeah.
rather than calling the technology team, the IT team for everything, you know. So yes, please, please, I think that's a great, great point by Kevin that learn to troubleshoot. Basic troubleshooting. Basic troubleshooting will really, really help you in the long run.
Yes. All right. Well, this will be my last question now for the day, and in maybe in just a few short, well, basically concepts, right? Or in a few short words, why do we always say that future readiness is related to digital learning?
Yeah, it has been quoted. It has been coined. There's a quote on that. It has been coined like that by people, which was many years ago, Kevin.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
it was at the time in 1990s when the pagers were really new, and everybody was like, from pagers, they're moving to mobile phones. From mobile phones, which you remember the mobile phones were not like my this
Yeah,
mobile.
it's not
Were not like
smartphones that
this
we know
mobile.
today.
It was not like a
Nokia.
smartphone. Those were like chunky, big Nokia, or if I remember the Motorola phones.
Ah, yeah,
A
they were the
big
big names
Motorola,
back
which were like cordless phones, right?
then.
So the transition was happening at that time. People were moving from pagers to mobile phones. Even the landline phones were changing. You were getting caller ID in them. If you
Yeah,
remember, there was a
already.
time when there were caller ID. So it got digital. And hence, it was coined that future readiness is important. You need to be digital. Now, I think what a brilliant question it is. Now, I would say it's just getting ready to be within the times. It's just getting ready to walk along with the others. And it's just readiness to be in the moment. So now it's no more for the future. We are already here. Everything is digitized now. From the coffee that you get, from the doorbell,
Yeah,
from the sanitization of the house. So
yeah,
you know that Google, Apple, Amazon, they all worked on sanitization of the house. So you have these little robots or little, these walking vacuum cleaners, which you can put a sanitizer and they spray it. You can time it, things that can happen. So now that so much of digitization is happening, you can control everything with your one smartphone. But I wouldn't say sadly so, but yeah, I mean, I'd want to say this. This is just my message for the smartphone companies. Actually, if somebody's watching, I don't know if somebody from CLDP, one of our fraternity members or our friends who are here, if somebody's working in a smartphone company, can we make them really affordable for everyone? Because then it's just going to make life easy for so many people. And I want to go back to what Kevin said, especially for the senior citizens. Especially for the senior citizens. It's thought provoking that the main market or the target market for every company is either the young generation or the middle
Middle,
age
yeah, middle
or the
age.
middle age. But the seniors really need that focus. The seniors really need that help. And that's why hats off to, Tata and Singapore government when they worked together, on creating something for the seniors. So I'm not really sure about the details, but Singapore government, hats off to them for working towards the seniors. Canadian government, hats off to them for working towards the seniors, where they have created apps, they have created gadgets for the seniors who are unwell, who are alone, and for the senior homes. And these gadgets are nothing but just wristband, which has buttons and it's digitally connected to the smartphones. And these are not very expensive smartphones, but they work very well for them. So we need to really look into doing more for the seniors.
Okay, I agree with that. Yeah, not just because we're talking or we're thinking about the future that we forget those who have been in the past. I
That's true.
guess they can still live in the present, so why not also give them the chance? Just to get
True.
the taste of what we are enjoying right now and with the years to come. All
Very
right.
true.
Well, thank you so much for that. And wow, at least now our viewers were able to, try to at least identify what is digital competency and figure out what they need to develop if they want if they want to become, well, basically a big name or even just an effective name in this industry, right? A lot of things are becoming digital, so if you are still stuck in the past, this might be the wake up call. All right. Well,
True.
before we end our show, will there be any, or is there anything that you want to share with our audiences or something to promote on your end?
Well, I have nothing to promote. I'm working with a good company, so if you want to join Tata
Um,
Consultancy Services, you just look in for LinkedIn for the available positions. We are hiring every now and then, and it's a very, very stable company, very good to work with. The only thing that I want to add in here is for all the
mhm.
trainers that do not shy away from learning. And I want to give a shout out to my two friends who are here, Jester and Kevin. That's how we keep improving our services. And I had written a personal recommendation to Oliver on how Circologica is creating these amazing, trainings and platforms and connects, which are ever evolving. That is the best thing. It's ever evolving. So they don't standardize to one set of standards. They keep challenging their own benchmark. That is really amazing. So
Thank you
continue to
so
do
much
the
for
good
that.
job, and we're always there with you.
Thank you so much for that. Well,
Thank
uh,
you.
it's nice to receive support from our friends in this industry, and hopefully, there's something that we can do in the near future together. Right?
Sure
Why
thing.
not? Let's look into
Sure
that.
thing. Sure
Anyways,
thing.
always a pleasure to have you in the show, and always a pleasure to talk with you. I learn a lot of things. I feel like you're one of my also like mentors. Like I don't understand this fully. Like Mr. Abhishek knows this better than I do. So thank you so much, and
Thank you.
let's see what the future holds for us, and keep safe always. And till next time, let's see. Let's have another topic that we can talk about.
Stay
So
safe.
till next
Stay
time,
safe, everyone.
stay safe.
Take care of yourself. Bye bye.
Bye for now. All right. Well, that was Mr. Abhishek Chatterji, and wow, what a topic. The technological age is certainly here. It's right now. It has started a few years back, but with the pandemic, I think the necessity to use it or to delve into it has become near to needs than just wants. But as we progress with our industry or with our roles and with our careers, it's also nice to have an eye, looking towards the future. And if you are currently being left behind, what more in the coming years? But as they say, there's a lot of things that we can learn. It's just a matter of us deciding if we want to learn it, if we want to be competent with it, if we want to develop ourselves and, basically be the best versions of ourselves now and in the future. Well, that's all for today's episode. Hope to see you again on episode 17 next week. Same time, same channel. And hope to have more discussions with you guys here in the show where we talk about anything and everything about L&D. This has been the Trainers Lounge. Thank you so much. Have a good night, everyone.